Alrighty. Hello, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Let's see. Let's get there. We are.
There we go.
Hello. Hello, hello. Hi, everyone.
Yes, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening
Yeah.
to the whole world.
Yes. Hello, everyone. All over the world. Um, Dark Yoshi is saying, I would love to hear a new take remix of Haunted Boardwalk, one of my fave tracks from Pac-Man World 2. Mine too. It's probably my absolute favorite. But we already have kind of things already planned for the evening, and I guess we could think about that for next week, Bobby. Maybe we can
Right.
make a note about that. But I'm really excited about this. You guys see my new light in the background there? How fun is that? No? Yeah, I'm really happy about that. Let me pull it over a little too. Yeah, I think that's better. Get it a little bit more on. Oh, now it's like all lopsided. There we go. Get it more on camera. I'm so excited about it. I also got a new strip light. We're trying to make this stream as nice as we possibly can. So, and we do have a new emote, but I don't know that it is. I don't think it's live yet, but we do have a new emote of me with the T-shirt. It's kind of fun. So, all right. Well, Bobby.
Well, the first thing is how do you feel after listening to the Re-Pac music?
Yeah. So Bobby
You've
and
had
I.
some time, you've gone back and forth.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Where is the original composer on the, I guess I'll just politely say, the repacking of his music?
Yes. The recrapping. I'm sorry. The repacking. Right. Sorry. No, I'm obviously just having a little fun. Yeah, because Bobby and I were talking earlier, and I was listening to some of the remixed versions of the original music, and there were some cool things. I heard some things that I really liked and I thought were cool. They seem to really like Four on the Floor, though, and I just, I don't know.
That's specifically the remixes we're talking about.
I don't know because I wasn't reading the titles that closely. I was just mostly kind of like going through and listening. I mean, I could. Let's see if we can.
Because I don't think they added. Did they change the rhythms that much for the original music?
Yes. I mean, on.
Well, besides taking out the.
Yeah, but you're asking, did they change the rhythms? You take out the dal samba.
Right.
That's the most fundamental rhythm change you can make to my music. Let me see if I can. I'll see if I can find the one that I thought was kind of neat. Oh dear. Let me just see. Oh yeah, I don't know. Let me see. I might have even. Let me just see quickly here if I can date modified maybe, because one of them I don't know. Yeah, there's like 66 tracks in here, so I don't know. Anyway, it was I'll just kind of go through and see if I can. Yeah, like this is cool. Sorry if that's too loud. This is cool. I like this. I think it's great. This is cool. It's great. So yeah, I was listening to this. This is good. I like it. It's growing on me now. I think I didn't like it when I first heard it.
Right.
But it's definitely growing on me now. This is cool. Very cool. I think this also, this I also like. There you go. Yeah. This is cool. I love this. I think it's great. There's still a little bit it's like, to use a millennial term or a Gen Z term, it's kind of mid on the nothing worse than a Gen Xer trying to sound hip. It's a little bit, mediocre on the drum production. I think that the drums can hit harder, also
Right.
can be punchier in the mix and just louder overall. But yeah, I was checking this out today, and I sort of am starting to make my peace with all of this. And I'm like, I think the problem of my initial reactions is that I'm so married to what I did,
Of course.
right? 25 years ago, 24 years ago, that it's very difficult to let go of that, right? And to be fair to myself, while we were in the stream, I even said, I don't know, is this my ego, or, is it
Yeah.
true? I was wrestling with that, right? So
Yeah.
now that but to be fair, I mean, the Pinky's Revenge is just, let me just quickly open it up again. And as I recall, this. Yeah, this is not an improvement at all. I stand by my comments on this, which is why tonight we are going to start to repack it the right way, right, Bobby? That's what we're doing tonight.
Yes. We're gonna see how 25 years of new tech and 25 years of experience can make a difference.
Because if I can't do better than the team that repacked this, then I will forever hang my head in shame and
I'd have to hand in your composer card even. I don't know.
I would have to hand in my composer card. Yeah, I think I would have to do that. So anyway, we're going to try and repack it, and hopefully we'll be able to improve on this, with the 25 years of tech. So, all right, well, let's just jump right in. Here we are. This is Pinky's Revenge, and maybe we want to go full screen for that. Excellent. All right. So this is Pinky's Revenge. Here we are, and I suppose the first thing we'll do is just listen.
So
Tell me. Go ahead.
I just want to make sure that these are basically the original sounds, as close to the original as possible.
Correct.
Nothing quite repacked yet.
Nothing has been repacked in here. Yeah. I tried to faithfully reproduce, to the closest I could with all the original sounds that I had used back then. And also with the understanding that, I had to, literally make all these tons of sample library conversions. And, so there's a lot involved in doing this. Some things translated really well. Some things did not translate very well. So yeah, it's with all that. Yeah. But what I suppose the first thing we'll do, the very first thing we should do, is we'll make a new alternative. And what this does is it basically preserves the original, and then it will save a new file that we can then do whatever we want to, and the original version will stay as it was. So we can go back and forth should we need to. This just saves us having to set up another actual file, for example. So, but yeah, this is as close as I could get. Some samples translated perfectly, others did not. But I think it's like 80% there. I say 80 because, the original console that I mixed this on, that's gone, so all the reverbs and all the delays and everything that was built into the console, that's all gone now. So, but all good. It's close enough. So, I suppose for me, and good news is that the XV5080, which I still have one in my rack, you know, is literally identical. Like this is the plug-in version, and it sounds exactly the same. Like there's literally no difference between the two. So that's good news. All right, so I'm gonna start on the string arrangements, okay? And because we discussed this last week a little bit, we got into it a little bit. So I think what I'll do is I'm gonna simply copy both string parts, and I'm gonna just assign. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna turn these down a little bit in the mix so they're rather soft, these original ones. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy each part. And what happened here? Oh, did I do the wrong thing here? Hold on. Let's see. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to break out, you know, some of my favorite string libraries, one of which, as you know, Bobby, is the Afflatus.
Of course.
So let's go ahead and we'll go over here into the strings, and oops, I think I'm in the Orb Instruments library, right? Okay, so we'll go to the Afflatus, and I actually, you know what? I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier here. I'm going to go to my, these are channel strips, which has basically all the the sounds and the compressors and EQs. So let's go ahead and do that.
FB says hi.
Oh, hello, FP. Hello, welcome. And by the way, Pollyanna, hello, everybody. I am doing well, thank you, and I'm doing even better knowing that you guys are coming back to hang out and watch and, you know, just talk with us. It's really a pleasure having you guys here. So happy. So thank you all. Wait, there it is. Oh yeah. All right, so I'm going to go into my strings, and I'm going to go to sections. And one of the things I like to do always is I like to layer multiple string libraries into one composite part. So with that in mind, one of my favorite spiccato strings patch is actually free. You can get it for free. It's the Berlin, the Helix, or sometimes the Berlin. We know it as the Helix, but they're rebranding it now as the Berlin Free Orchestra.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, it's now they rebranded it. It's not called Helix anymore. It's called the Berlin Free Orchestra. So anyway, I still call it Helix, and as you can see, my preset was originally saved called Helix. So so I'm going to get the Helix up, and I suppose we can name this Helix. So this is going to be the Helix upper. I'm going to go ahead and double the uppers. I'm going to go to Afflatus here, and then I'm going to grab, I don't know, what should I do here? I guess just the contemporary strings spiccato. For those non-musicians out there, spiccato is basically when you strike the string with the bow, and it makes a sound like this. Anyway, so there it is. I'm gonna maybe bring these reverbs back. It's a little reverby because there's already some reverb baked in to the Afflatus. So
now I gotta say, hearing the Afflatus and hearing the original strings, those original strings were pretty good.
oh, they were fantastic.
They were pretty good.
Other than the fact that there were no round robins,
Right.
they were amazing. Because remember, these are the Peter Sidliacek, which Eric Persing hired to do the Roland libraries. So these were the original Roland sample libraries from way back in the day. And they sounded absolutely amazing. But no round robins. Okay. Oh, I also, if anybody's curious to know that doesn't know, what a round robin is, I recently just made a 16x round robin conga sample. So if anybody's interested, I can show you that in a moment. But first, let's get these sounds lined up here. So this is the afflatus upper. Okay, then we can just double each one, and we can just remove upper and say low and low. And then what we'll do is we'll just start copying the low into the afflatus low, and then we'll also go into the helix low. We'll grab these uppers, and we will grab the upper strings and we'll do the same thing here. We'll go to the upper. Okay, so let's just listen. For example, let's just listen to the helix. Sounds great.
Yeah, it does.
Love the helix. Oh yeah, man, these are great. I love these. Now let's just, since we're talking about it, let's go back and listen to those Sidlia check. I mean, they sound great, but the helix sound much better. Tight, punchy,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
Now the afflatus won't be quite as tight and punchy. They're a little bit more sustained. Okay, so then what I will do is I will now mute the original strings, and let's just hear how these sound with everything else.
In context.
Of course, it starts just with strings. There we go. So, again, just while it's fresh in our minds, this is the original Sidliacek. I mean, it's quite dramatic, the difference.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, they sound great. I mean, for the year 1995 or 7, like when they first came out, I mean, damn, those were good. But these are way better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, as far as everything else that's in here goes, you know, the piano, let's see which piano. This is the original piano from Pac-Man. This is it was called Giga Sampler, and then Giga Studio eventually. And this was the first software sampler ever. Okay, so all samplers were hardware before, and so the idea of a 1 gigabyte piano sample was just like, you have to understand that a sampler back then could only have maxed at 32 megabytes with an M, right? So, and then the K2500, which I still have, went up to 128 megas. I mean, again, that was just insane. And then when the Akai S6000 came out, it was 256 mega. And that was just like out of control, insane. So, but then software took over and nobody bought hardware ever again. So, okay, so let's maybe give the piano a little bit of a facelift as well. As far as pianos go, I really tip my hats to the East West Opus. I love these pianos, specifically the Yamaha Grand. I think it just sounds wonderful, and it's
Let me ask you a quick creative question.
Of course.
How much of this are you trying? Is this just try to make this sound as realistic as possible, and how much of that are you trying to balance with the original?
So
So
to
for the piano, for
clarify,
example, go with
yeah,
a character piano, go with a baby grand, a grand,
right.
you know.
So I mean, it's a good question. I would sort of say this, that I am not I am not a purist of any kind. Like I don't like I don't care at all. And by the way, I'm classically trained, okay? I was an orchestral percussionist, okay?
Right.
So when I say I don't care, what I mean is it to me doesn't matter is a better way of saying this. If the sample accurately recreates the sound it's going for or sounds like a cheap synthesizer. Because
Right.
even a cheap synthesizer with the right EQ and the right reverbs can sound very organic. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, so for me, I suppose, yeah, and I don't care, like I know that a French horn, the high E flat is pushing it, and you never go above a high F, or it just sounds terrible, and most
Yeah.
horn players, have a difficult time reaching that, or trumpet players, well, FP can attest to the super C, they call it, right? Which is this ridiculously high C. And so I don't particularly care. I just want to write good music. And then if there's a problem, then I'll address the problem as it comes. Now, the problem with this thinking, though, is that sometimes it is like I think of only, actually, I can only think of one example where this was a problem for me. And that's when I was recording a live orchestra. So
Mm.
FP sent love. So I'm
So
assuming he agrees
specifically
with me.
though, with relation to repacking the Pac-Man music, how
Okay.
much of that do you want to?
You mean sound like the original Pac-Man?
Right. So where's that balance for you? Like, how much of that are you trying to say to yourself, like, okay, this piano sounds good, but it's not, doesn't sound like Pac-Man piano. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So I believe that the whole point of repacking is to really try to dramatically improve things. So I'm happy to replace the 1 gigabyte piano sample with a, oh my gosh, this library is 250 gigabyte piano, right? So now there are 4 pianos in there, but even still, do the math. It's a massive, massive. So each piano, yeah, I mean, it's got to be, I don't know, 60 gigs ish, so it's big. It's big. So yeah, I'm not interested in, so okay, I can tell you precisely where I'll never replace certain things, which is my original recorded drum parts. I won't replace those because they're so characteristic and were recorded for the game and they're part of the fabric. But you see, a French horn is a French horn, and a string section is a string section. So why not improve it? And a piano is a piano, right? So why
Right.
not put the best possible piano possible in there, And maybe FP, if you're there, maybe you would like to redo the brass live on the Bedoing Woods. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. For those that don't
Very
know,
cool.
FP is my go-to all-in-one horn section. So he does all my session work for. I have a recording artist that I'm producing, and he's done a bunch of tracks for that. And then some of the video game projects I do, he's played trumpet on. So maybe you'd like to do that. That would be awesome. All right, cool. This is not a paid gig, though. Okay, this is, I know I pay you normally, but this is just for fun. Okay, I'm not. It's only if you want to. Okay, I'm not asking either. It's just if you want to do it, wonderful. If you think it'd be fun, cool. And because Bedoing Woods, I'm really curious actually with live brass. How would that be? Because the brass is so prominent in that. So yeah, I think with my original drum tracks, and one of which exists here in Pinky's Revenge, and I can play it for you right now. So this is what I would not replace. Right? You know, that's my years of training as an orchestral percussionist, right? So, yeah, I mean, that's, you know, and then mixed in with the Bonham bits, right? This is just the snare drum.
Yeah, that sounds pretty great.
It's super tight, crisp.
Right.
Also, as a orchestral percussionist, you know, I was always like very, very much aware of the sonic quality. So like that particular snare drum you're hearing, see, modern snare drums, okay, they have steel wire on the bottom, right? And you can control the amount of tension. So if your chops, as we say, like your ability to do rolls are not that good, you can hide. You can hide behind the buzziness because it meshes all the together. But when you use gut, because all snare drums in the past, they were cat gut or goat guts stretched into snappy snares before steel, right? And so all the orchestral players prefer still playing with gut. And why is that? Well, because all the orchestral music that was written prior to steel wire snare drums was played with real gut. And so you can't hide. It's so snappy and there's nothing you can hide with that. And so everything is unbelievably precise. And so now that is not real catgut, but it is a synthetic copy of what gut sounds like, and it sounds pretty damn good. But either way, you can't hide.
Right.
So yeah, so there's a very good example of what I would definitely not. I would not replace that. Crazy Otto is asking, David, did you make Pac-Man's hurt sound effect? I've been wondering what exactly the sound is for years. Never been able to figure it out. I don't know. I remember very much making the butt bounce, right? I remember doing the snoring. I remember going out into my garden and grabbing like a whole bush out of the backyard because I needed to do Foley of Pinky sneaking through the bushes. I remember recording my lamp. There's certain things I really remember, you know. I hired a team because I didn't have enough time to do all the sound design. You know, I might have personally done maybe 10, 15% of all the sounds in that game. And then I had to outsource everything else to various sound designers. I would probably say then, you know, if I don't remember that one in particular, then probably I did not do that one. I would argue. So yeah. I missed 30 minutes of David having a fit over Pac-Man World 2 music. Well, I wouldn't describe it as a fit. Maybe right. a hissy fit. I don't know what we would call it, but all right. Well, let's get back into this Pinky's Revenge over here. Yeah. So there you go. There's an answer to that question about what would I actually replace. So, and by the way, my hard drives were not hooked up when I was trying to load that piano sound, and hopefully now I just flipped it on, and let's see if it is. Oh, it's still. If I have to restart Logic, I'll probably just use something else. Let's see, pianos, gold, Yamaha, full. Oh, okay, we're good. Excellent. Yeah, I love this piano. just sounds like a real piano, you know? So
Right.
I love it. Okay, so so let's do that. Let's go ahead and we'll drag that piano part. And I suppose I will always keep the original just on standby in case. But I also want to make sure that I label things nicely so that I know what is what. Tamaha. Okay, look at that. Yamaha is what I was trying to say. So let's see here. Okay, so that's been replaced. Other things like this low piano sample. This was taken from a library called Percussive Adventures, and it had a really very unique sound to it. Where is it here? Okay, so that's... Okay, so we actually have to do this Yamaha piano also for the low piano hits. So there's two kind of low piano hits. And then that is also going to get layered. So let's mute these guys originally. So here's a good example of a piano I would not replace. Okay, because it just has a unique...
Yes.
Nasty. And I'm using... Now, here's where I actually just heard this now and I didn't realize it. There's a decapitator on it, which sounds amazing. But I, if I'm trying to be, you know, sort of fair and original, I should really take that off. But this, I mean, even without the...
Still,
it's so in your face. Now, with my Giga piano, I tripled it, right? So you get this. And I probably bring it up. Anyway, the three of them together. Now, the new me, all right, so that was the old me. So now the new me that gets to Re-Pac everything is probably going to listen first to these guys all together. Let's see here. There we go. I mean, that just sounds great.
Yeah.
That sounds better. Like already that
Yeah.
sounds better. Okay. Now, what I would do, like I said, the new me, the new producer, okay, the 24 years later would pan this stuff. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to grab this guy, pan it a little bit onto the right. Actually, I can do this much, much better if I simply, and actually let's do this. We can also do this so you guys can like really get an idea of like when and how I actually use my hardware. So these are the two tracks in question here, and I want to get a nice wide stereo pan. So at the same time, so I'm going to listen. Let's see. I don't want to go too wide. That's completely wide. Actually, that sounds really good. But let's bring it back a bit. So we're getting a little bit of a wider sound than normal.
Right.
And let's listen to that now in the mix. And that's got a lot more room to go. So I'm going to go ahead. And very important to do this. This is called grouping or summing, or there's a lot of different ways to describe what I'm going to do here. But I'm going to I'm going to put these all in a folder, essentially. I mean, that's the easiest way of describing it. And I'll just call this piano hits, because this is like the aggressive piano. Okay, and I really like having my icons. I may have spent so much time doing them, so we're not going to skip that part. Okay, so these are the piano hits, and yeah, so what I'm going to do next now is I'm going to I'm going to look at all three of these levels here, okay? And I'm going to specifically focus on this guy here, which is that really characteristic piano. Okay, I think so. This is the other thing. I mean, there's not really any specific order that I want to do this in. Oh wow, what did I just do? I just hit the wrong button. I just messed everything up, didn't I? Oh no. What have I done? Are we okay? What did I do here? I totally messed
I think
up.
you doubled up.
I hit the wrong button. There we go. We're back to normal. All right.
Right.
So yeah, there's not like it's not like I go from beginning to end. What happens is I hear something that just bothers me to no end, and I'm like, I got to fix it. So what is bothering me right now is the psycho strings.
I was just about to say, I can't wait to get to the psycho strings.
Well, let's do it, shall we?
I'm so excited for that. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Because this is like a real world use case of that very,
Right.
I mean, I'll call it famous amongst composers. So for those that don't know what we're talking about, this library made by Stretsov Sampling it's called a flatus. And what he did is he very carefully thought about sort of all the really famous iconic string sounds that were used, especially in the Hollywood movies. And of course, one of the most iconic, if not the most famous use of strings in film is the shower scene from Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. And so this guy, George Stretsov, he's brilliant, by the way. He's the genius of sampling. Like, he's the Steve Jobs of samplers. Most people think that's Spitfire, but that's just not true. Because Spitfire doesn't, give the people what they want before they know that they need it. And Stretsov did. Stretsov does. And they consistently do this, guys. Stretsov they're the best. Like, I didn't know I needed these articulations until... And even I bought the Spitfire Bernard Herrmann Composer Toolkit. It's garbage compared to this. I mean, seriously. I use that library for very specific things, but the strings, like, okay, let's be fair, because we do love the boys over at Spitfire.
Yes.
We love them. We do. Everybody does. Who doesn't love them? Paul Thompson, Christian Henson. And sadly, they got bought out by private equity the way every other great audio company they got taken over by Slice. Anyway, all things being equal, they did, like, Spitfire's amazing. Like, they're incredible. Like, they've been consistently making some of the best sample libraries ever. But their Bernard Herrmann, like, they contacted the estate of Bernard Herrmann and, asked for the rights to be able to produce a sample library based on his orchestrations. And to their credit, and to be fair, they sort of recreated the scoring stage that he was working on, right? Which was a small room. He had a small room, and there was no natural reverberation. And back when in the 50s and 60s, when a lot of these movies were getting made, the reverb technology was really in its infancy and was, like plate reverbs and chamber reverbs and really primitive compared to today. So in fairness, they were trying to recreate that. And this is why Bobby brilliantly said last week or 2 weeks ago, well, but do you think that maybe the guys who are repacking your original music are just trying to make it, of that era of the early 2000s? To which I brilliantly replied, well, then why repack it at all? Just use the original.
Yeah.
So we both had brilliant moments in that particular stream. But it's really how I feel, So, but like I said, I've been listening more, and it's growing on me. So, all right. So let's, without further ado, let's go ahead and let's just rip open the staccato lows and the staccato highs. And thank you, Bobby, for doing the switching, because then it reminds me to switch.
Right.
We're like leveling up our technology here on the stream. You know, Bobby's in control of all the angles now. It's awesome. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and I will play for you guys these staccato strings, and I think you'll hear right away. And then let's also do the same thing here. Let's first of all, oops. Let's just go ahead and, oh, no, we don't want that. That's contemporary. We want staccato. Okay, that seems to be right. Staccato low, shorts, and low shorts. So we want to get the high shorts. I guess I could do all strings, but I like separating things into low and high, very much so. So let's go ahead and there we go. So this is going to be staccato high, and this is going to be staccato low. These really are, I mean, these are magical strings. I mean, they just, oh, please, you know, what do you want? Oh, maybe a little loud, but anyway, I love these. And then, of course, the very famous and iconic. Oh, let's go up another octave there. So there it is. I mean, that's the sound right there. So now let's see if we can get these staccato strings. So probably what I'll do here, well, first of all, let's just let's listen. Okay, so that's the helix, and let's just go ahead and copy these to the staccato, and let's listen. Yeah, I mean, that's really punchy, yeah. Really punchy. Liking that. Nice. You hear all the dynamics too. Now, part of it is I'm pushing the fader. So if you look at the volume automation in here, you'll see. But also, back in the day, you know, we didn't have round robins, but we did have velocity sensitivity. You can see what I did with velocity sensitivity. And then, of course, today we have both. So we have everything: round robins, velocity sensitivity, round robins with velocity sensitivity, plus automation. So hopefully now this will translate a little better. And you know, you can see I've got all these various layers in here, right? And I think, believe it or not, I don't know that layering the psycho strings is going to work. I could be wrong, of course. It might work with the helix. But let's just listen to the staccato just on their own. I mean, that sounds a lot better. Now, again, I mean, I'm not going to mess around with it. If it sounds good, it is good. Now, I'm even more excited, believe it or not, to hear the staccato lows, because those are some beefy strings. Now, as you can see, they're written in octaves here, and then over here, they're not in octaves. Now, what am I going to do? I'm actually going to remove the octave doublings, and the reason why is that the staccato low in particular is actually recorded in octaves already. So what we don't want to do is have an overabundance of strings, right? Because they're already recorded in octaves, so we don't need the MIDI to be in octaves as well. Now, this poses a little bit of a problem, because over here, I try to make it a little more relaxed, I suppose. So what I did is I removed the octave doublings. If you look at the writing, actually, right here I'm in octaves. Here I go out into just a single layer. But regardless, let's just listen to these. Now, let's just, oops, sorry about that, guys. I think we're not on the right. This is not on the right. I'm like, wait, that's not the staccatos. That's the helix, man. I know those anywhere. All right, so sorry about that. That epic failure there. But let's do this just so we have them on standby, the helix as they were done. So let's try this yet again, shall we? Okay, right. So, all right, so here we are. These are the staccato lows. And I could also, just to make life easier for me, I mean, those are punchy. And probably what I would do.
Originals and compare real quick.
Yeah, of course. The other thing I'm going to do, because why not? Let's just go like, let's max. I'm going to max the velocities. Yeah, we're going to compare. I'm going to A-B. I can't speak tonight. But I do want to just... Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and we will A-B these two. Do you want to hear them to the very original ones or to like...
Yes.
Okay. All right, so here are the original. Let's unmute these and play them. So what we will more than likely have to do is take those upper strings there and put them in the staccato highs. Right? I'm really having a hard time talking tonight, guys. My apologies. Okay, so
I actually kind of liked the whole Airbnb.
The Airbnb, yeah. Don't ask me.
Like I'm gonna start saying that. I'm gonna Airbnb these two tracks.
I'm gonna Airbnb these two together, and they can go on holiday and have a nice vacation, ride off into the sunset. All right, so let's see here. I'm curious now. I'm just curious. I'm gonna just take a little risk here. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to see. This is where things get really messy and complicated. But all that being said, okay, so first of all, we need two instances of the staccato high because we need those psycho strings, but then we do need that upper octave from the low strings. And let's just start. And I think they only did violins. And how unfortunate. Oh, I got lucky there, didn't I? Did I get lucky? Let's see. Okay, good. I thought we were gonna be out of range, but no, yeah. They just did the low G on the violin. So, and I'm on F sharp. How unfortunate for me, huh? Man, that really, really sucks. Because these are like the best ever. Well, let's just listen to them where they are. No, it does not work at all. So now here's the other thing I'm going to try. And this is where things get really dicey. I'm going to just put it up an octave just to see. You never know. It's actually fine. Actually, this is great. And once again, I think that because these are so, like, they're so signature, I really think I'm going to just do away altogether with doublings. Because these staccatos are so, and maybe that's what I was hearing, and maybe that's why I thought it was okay. Actually, it's good. It's good. Okay, so let's see here. Let's just kind of listen. No, I don't know, man. It's just not right. It's so unfortunate. And if I was really like a complete maniac, which, oh right, I am one. Right. Okay. I might actually go and resample these strings so I can get my F sharp.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was worried about that.
But you were worried, yeah, because I'm that crazy.
Right.
Most people would just give up at that point, but I don't. I'm very tenacious. So, but I'm not going to do it on the stream because that's going to be so boring, tediously boring.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to torture my audience. Anybody in the chat wanting to ask me anything? Well, I thought it was neat to hear another composer's take on the songs. I do wish there was at the very least an option to have the original OST. Yeah, you know what, Miles, that would have been cool, huh? So that you could choose. I'm really shocked. Yeah, I'm shocked.
Right.
I'm shocked. I mean, think about it. What's the point of having a jukebox if you can't use the jukebox in the game, right? And I don't know, did they even put the original in the jukebox? Does anyone know?
I believe they did, but I'm not certain. I think when
Anyone know?
Actually, you know what? I take that back. I have no idea.
Okay. Anybody know if they put the original? They're not there. Oh man.
Wow.
See, that is okay. Bobby, let's go full screen on this.
Wow, that's hugely disappointing.
It's beyond. It's so really quite heartbreaking. And I don't even have the right emote. I mean, I could use this one, but I'm not really angry about it. I'm like just, and I'm not shocked because, you know, I just am not, I suppose. I wonder if this new one is up yet. No, it's not up, the new one. Anyway, it's sad, you guys, because it's like, why do they want to like erase the past, man? Like, why are they so content seemingly to just ruin the past?
It's such an integral part of the game. Like so many of the games that I played, particularly the ones I played during my childhood, right? Those have a special place. I still hum them. I still whistle them. And to not have it is...
It's sad.
Yeah, just yeah.
And it makes me even more sad about Namco's lawyers telling us to take it down, you know?
Yeah.
It makes me even more sad because now there's no official way. There's not an official way of listening to the original. There's lots of people who have posted my original, but they're like compressed, they're low quality, rips from the games. I was offering the original studio recordings. Look how Italian I've become, huh? Futatini.
I was about to say. Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, it's guys, this is really sad. It's really heartbreaking. And I don't know why they are so content to just seemingly wipe out, because I don't think overall the Re-Pac is an improvement. I'm sorry, man. When you take away the dal samba, you know, like it's not better. It's not better. You know what we should be doing? We should be redoing Bedoing Woods with my super samba. Remember that guy? I got to hear this
Right.
again.
That would be fun.
I got to hear this. For those that were not here last week, you know, Bobby was asking me because I was so unbelievably disappointed by the removal of my dal samba, my live samba beat that I played on my drum set.
Yeah.
And he was saying to me, well, like, how would you have improved it? Like, how would you make Bedoin Woods better? And then I played him. This is a track I did for a project, and they didn't actually wind up using the track, but that's beside the point, because this actually uses the original dal samba. So that's, maybe we should be doing Bedoin Woods. FP Trumpet, if you're off for stands, man, like, I would really like to talk to you. Maybe we can schedule a call for Monday. And yeah, get FP doing live horns.
That would be a lot of fun.
Maybe we should be doing that instead of Pinky's Revenge. I'm sort of feeling like that might be the right.
We can pause Pinky and go to the woods.
Absolutely. So, anyway, we're just about that 1 hour mark right now. So, does anybody? I mean, what we didn't want to do, guys. Just so you know, I know we didn't do a lot of the Pinky's Revenge, but we also don't want to have it just be like me working on stuff, which would be kind of boring. We wanted to kind of, you know, discuss processes and, you know, so. You know, I you know what I may do some of the repacking by myself, because a lot of it is boring, and then maybe we'll bring it on. I keep saying maybe because I have a lot of other things to do, including putting out my solo album. So I keep saying maybe, but. And then I will bring it on the stream if I do get a chance to work on it. And then, yeah, then we can discuss it and I can show you, you know, various things and stuff. So FP.
Although, personally, I think, you know, it is fun to watch the process as well.
I mean, we can,
parts of it. And
absolutely. I mean, you know, I guess, like, for example, for example, pulling up all the sounds and loading all the instruments and searching for that drum hit that I need in order to, you know, do something like that. That stuff I can do all by myself, and it won't have any bearing on, you know, creative processes or anything like that. And I can, well, you know, let's see. Yes, I'm doing a solo album. I suppose that means I got to play a little bit of it, right? Because we did say we were going to do that, right? Like just a little bit. Yes, I'm doing a solo album. We'll just do a little taste. Yes, I'm doing a solo album of my songs, me singing and playing every instrument. I know, it's crazy, but that's me. What can I tell you? It's called Play With My Heart. I will play you just a little bit of the title track. I'll kind of jump in where
I love the way you play with my heart. I love the way you play that part. I love the way you play with my heart. I love the way you play that part.
There's a little taste, and I'll play a little taste of this other song here.
Wine and song.
Guys, thank you so much for saying these nice words. I'm going to play just a little bit of this one. This is called Sad Eyes, and I like my voice the best on this song.
So if you believe in the love that I give, share with me the life that I live. If you believe we should be together, let's always live this life forever.
And I want to just state that no David Logans were harmed in the process of making this album, okay? And I did not use any auto-tune. I did, in a few occasions, maybe more than a few, use the Logic, what the hell is it called? It's not pitch correction, the flex pitch.
Thing.
No, yeah, it's called flex pitch. So, and the reason I did that, just so everyone knows, is that when I originally recorded my vocals like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when I was making this album, they were just rough vocals that I was going to just redo them when I, had the time. Well, 15 years later, I don't have it, man. I don't have the skill anymore. And not just that, I wasn't able to capture the feeling of my vocals of when I wrote those songs. So the rough vocals which is what you're hearing, were not terrible. They weren't awful, but there were definitely a few moments where I was a little bit like this. Okay, maybe not that bad, but so I sort of, it was the choice between, two evils, either have out of tune vocals or fix them a little bit, or have vocals that were not as powerful, but were done, in this year but didn't have the magic. So that was why, just so you know. But for
It's
the
always
most,
hard to recreate something.
yeah, 100%, yeah. But
Just ask the Re-Pac composers.
exact, touche. But if you go back last stream, I think it was, I actually sang Wine and Song a cappella just to prove it was really me, because some people were like, I can't believe that's you. And so, yeah, I can sing. I can't sing. I like to sing. It takes me a lot of hard work to be able to actually sing and sing in tune, and a lot of practice. And that's the thing, those takes I did, the rough vocals, I was like, trying really hard, and so anyway, anybody have any thank you so much, Pollyanna, you are so kind. I would send you hearts, but my girlfriend will get really jealous if I do that, because I think seems like you have a lady's name, so oh, what the hell. Thank you, Pollyanna. So anybody have, you are, okay, well, my girlfriend's going to be very upset and very jealous, and, but that's how it goes. If you say nice things, I have to send the love, right? Anyway, anybody else have any questions before we kind of wrap things
There's one
up?
quick question.
Yeah.
When you worked on the soundtrack, did you ever think of possibly giving mazes a version of the Maze intro song themed after the area they're from? Meadows mazes, volcano mazes, etc.
No, I mean, it's just sort of a quick answer here, because everything was, as far as music and music direction, was up to the producers, right? So they gave me my to-do list, right? And they were basically like, each world has to have 4 tracks, and, one of them is a boss, one of them is the main theme for that particular world, and then 2 variations, and they were very clear. And then when they asked me for the maze music, they said, we want something like an old 8-bit game. And so I broke out the old Juno 106, and which is not 8-bit, but whatever. It I don't know, maybe it is. Well, it's analog, so it's not even about bit. So what am I talking about? Although the Juno 106, to be fair, did have DCOs, which were digitally controlled oscillators. So anyway, so Any other questions from anybody before we say goodnight and goodbye?
Just scroll back here to see if we missed
Yeah, I'm so
anything.
sorry, guys, if we missed anyone. Very, very sorry. But now's your chance again to ask. So, because we got a couple more minutes here. We're not in any
Right.
rush to say goodnight. We have a few more minutes if you have any questions. Anyway, I'll repeat it again. The more I listen to the Re-Pac isolated without hearing it in the game, I'm hearing some things that I like. Now, wait a second. Somebody was asking, had a request at the very beginning of the stream. Who was it? It was Dark Yoshi 64. Are you still there, Dark Yoshi? You were asking for a new take. New take though. Yeah, no, I don't have that. That would be really interesting. You're right though, Dark Yoshi. That is definitely gonna go. That's got to go on the priority list. Did I miss you listening to more of the post-game music? Just briefly, Starman. Briefly, we did listen a little bit. And as I was saying, I just, I'm making my peace with it. And there's a few things I actually thought were really good. But as a drummer, I was saying some of the drum production could have been, taken to the next level. And then, Pollyanna, are you planning on updating all the themes or just a few? Well, that's a wonderful question. So let's talk about this. Yeah. So as we mentioned earlier on the stream, we posted the official original music of Pac-Man World 2 on all platforms. And Namco's lawyers asked us very sadly to take it down. And Bobby and I are going to be discussing soon printing off another T-shirt that says, "They forced us to take it down." That's going to be the next T-shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but to answer the question, Anna, our idea, what Bobby and I and Emanuele, our other partner, what the three of us were discussing together was the idea of, turning this into some kind of a Kickstarter type thing and remake the entire Pac-Man World 2 soundtrack note for note and even go as far as recording it with a real live orchestra.
Yeah.
But again, Namco's lawyers were basically, because we said hey, by the way, we're thinking of doing this, is that going to be okay? And they were like, no, that would not be okay.
Right.
But
Very clearly.
they were very clearly saying that. But the law is very clear on a couple of things. Number one, is, at least as far as I understand it, you cannot prevent a composer from representing their artistic work. It's against the law. You can't say you're not allowed to, say that you wrote this music. Now, they own those original recordings, but what we're talking about is making a new recording, which if you listen to the Beatles, there's a bazillion cover songs, and it's called a mechanical license. And as long as
There's an issue with that.
Is there?
Yeah, there is.
All right, well,
that's fine for music that's meant to be listened to by itself. But
It is.
dramatic recordings like operas or film scores and quite possibly game music.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So we might be just totally screwed on this, yeah?
Right.
Unfortunately. But I mean, we might do it anyway and then not officially release it. You know what I mean? Right?
Just for fun.
Just for fun, right? We can just, because they can't stop us from making music, right?
Right.
They can only stop us from officially, legally releasing it. But if we're not going to do that, so we could still do this. So that's the plan, Anna, is that we want to completely and totally remake absolutely everything. But in order to do that, we would have to start a Kickstarter or something like that, especially if we record with an orchestra. That's not cheap.
Yeah, if we do the orchestra.
I mean, that is
Right.
ridiculously, it's €18,000 a day for the cheapest orchestras. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So anyway, yeah. And then, yeah, by the way, we could put it on SoundCloud. They did very graciously allow us to keep the SoundCloud up. So that was very nice of them. They didn't have to do that, by the way. So they're definitely being nice. They're being nice, which is why we are complying with them, right? But fair is fair, right? And, again, they can't stop us from making music, right? Yeah. So, and if we did do a Kickstarter, it would not be for profit. It would literally just be, here's what we need
just to pay the
the costs of the orchestra. Exactly. Right. It wouldn't be for, like Orb Soundworks, we do video game music, and it's our full-time jobs, and so we're not interested in exploiting Pac-Man to make money. It's not about that at all, and it never was, right? It was always just about sharing the music with the fans, always. All right, let's see what else people are saying. Do you have any tips for preventing voice cracks while you are asking the wrong guy, okay, Miles, because I do crack a lot. I don't. I suppose, take voice lessons from a real voice, because I'm really not a good singer. I have to work I think I have a pleasant voice when I, do sing, but, it is so hard for me to actually get something. And even if you look back last week when I sang Wine and Song a cappella just to prove it was me, because some of you guys were like, really, that's you? And so I sang it. You'll hear I crack. My voice cracks. So you're really asking the wrong guy, Miles, unfortunately. I'm so sorry I don't have better advice.
Would you ever consider making more Pac-Man World 2 inspired tracks?
Yes, 100%. And that's definitely something we are going to do. In fact, maybe, Bobby, maybe next week we can even do that. I can start
a new track.
Yeah, well, and I was thinking about that samba that I just played, right?
Right.
Because it's so perfect. It's so Pac-Man-esque, no?
Yeah.
It feels like the sort of cousin of Bedoing Woods, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think we should definitely get on that. Kickstarter for Pac-Man World 2 music might violate a law or two since they are selling the game with the music in it. I'm not a lawyer, Starman, so I really don't know. I can't say. You're might be right, probably right. I don't know. I thought I would mention that while the original tracks are not in Re-Pac, you are still credited in the original. Yeah, look, as far as credits go, I am, just to show you here, let's go to this camera over here. Yeah, I mean, this is the original booklet right here, okay? And so, yes, I got a full, juicy, wonderful, proper credit in the original game back in those days when they put your name in the book.
When you had a book.
And yeah, and
yeah.
You know what? That they can never take that away. This is not a lie. This is the truth. And so, and you don't know how good that makes me feel. It feels amazing, that I got the credit. And in the Re-Pac, they credited me all the way at the very, very end. So they credited literally everybody and everyone, even possibly related to music, before they credited me. So, and can I say what I wanted to say about telling that person, hey, congratulations on getting credited before me? I won't say who, but can I say that on the stream, or you think we'll get in trouble for that?
I think
well, you guys can put two and two together. Right. Someone got credited before me that had the most uncreative job on the whole game, which I just found positively hilarious. So, all right. So anyway, yes, I did. I got full credit, and in Re-Pac and in the original game. So just put it on SoundCloud. That's allowed. and maybe Bandcamp too. Yeah, I mean, it's still on. And again, I want to say the lawyers were very gracious enough to allow us to keep it on SoundCloud. And we are grateful for that. And we thank them for that. Like really, 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 truly, I know maybe I have a little bit of animosity because I feel upset because we were not trying to monetize, we were not trying to we were not trying to make money. We just wanted to give this to the fans so that there was an official, real version available to them. Because let's just say, I don't know, that the original soundtrack, let's say a month, got 10,000 plays a month, which I doubt it would ever get to that. What we would earn
20,000.
We would earn what, like 25 cents? You know what I mean? Like, it's not about that, right? It was never about that. So, I would post to SoundCloud. Yeah, we have it on SoundCloud. Thank goodness. And Crazy Auto for sure. We're definitely, I'm going to be on this probably next week even. I think we should start working on that. Might be a lot more fun because then it's like you're really just, it's like a fresh beginning. And right, and I can sort of use some of the original sounds I did from 24 years ago, but also updated, like what I did with the Dal Samba, So because in fact that's a really good example, because the original Dal Samba snare pattern I'm repeating with just way better technology, basically.
Yeah.
So FP erg fuck, I don't understand what that's all about, but don't be saying nothing negative about my FP, because I'll come out and kick your butt, man. FP is the best, sweetest, kindest, nicest person I ever met, maybe even more than Emanuele and Bobby. FP is such a sweetheart. He's
I
really.
think that was just a comment about something else that
Okay,
said
I just
about
want to make
SoundCloud.
sure that we're all playing nice in the
safe.
chat. All right.
Right.
Okay, very good. So yeah, we're gonna and we will definitely release that music inspired by Pac-Man World 2 as written by the original composer of Pac-Man World 2. I think that's actually should be the title. Yeah?
Okay.
Music inspired by Pac-Man World 2. Wait, what did I say? I guess we'll have to rewind, and because that was really good.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact words either.
I don't remember the exact
Right.
words. We'll have to. What's the timestamp? Here? Hour 23. All right. So, because that was a good title.
We'll use it.
Anything else here? One day I dream of the soundtrack being on CD or vinyl. I mean, maybe.
So do we.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we will. Why not? Because again, it's not about the money. So maybe we will do a CD and vinyl, but again, like we'll do a Kickstarter. So that way, if you want, and by the way, like it's like everything is like we could even start like making some, like when we do the T-shirt of. What was the one I just said? My memory is not what it once was.
They made us take it down.
They made us take it down. Yeah. Like we could do T-shirts, and then if we do a Kickstarter, you get the T-shirt and the vinyl, and if you do on a different level, like I'll do like a signed vinyl or something like that. And then if you contribute like 10,000 euros, I will go anywhere in the world with an ukulele and sing you the Pac-Man World 2 theme song in person.
Okay. Wow.
Maybe not. I don't know if I'd want to do that, but
Shoot.
I
was
anyway,
about to pack my
who's gonna send me $10,000 to do that? No one. So hopefully it can go further. And Namco sees the amount of love and appreciation and fans for the. Thank you, Anna.
Hopefully.
You were really so nice to say this. Thank you so much. And want to see it improved. It was not improved at all in Re-Pac. I mean, let's be fair to those guys. I agree it's not really improved. I will say it's different, But the original music, I would have to agree. I don't think it's an improvement. Taking the Dal Samba out of Bedoin Woods is not an improvement. Pinky's Revenge is just not good. It's objectively not good. I'm sorry. It just is, you know. Now, I told you today I made peace. I heard some other tracks and I was like, oh, wow, that's good. I like that, you know. So they did do some really nice stuff. But yeah, the original music was, I don't think it was improved. So anyway, listen, Pollyanna, I think that if you are, you know, if you're interested in kind of getting, you know, some awareness about this, and, you know, tell your friends, right? Tell them to come to our stream. Tell them to, because nothing happens, you know, unless there is enough interest, right? So, you know, like right now, our numbers, you know, for people watching the stream, you know, I mean, you know, a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there, and, you know, they're not horrible, but it's not like in the thousands or anything like that. So I don't think that, you know, we're going to get too far with the small audience that we have. But we love our small audience, and we're still going to be here, and we're still going to be, you know, doing all this, and regardless of the size, because again, it's not about the size of our audience, right? It's just, we want to do this because we want to be here. We want to, you know, it's fun. It's enjoyable. It's a good time, you know. Your name was in the remake too, at least. Yes, Starman, it was. Like I said, at the very, very end, but better than nothing, no? Also, once again, begging on my knees, if you have... Starman, I looked, and I even talked with Jared about it, and he and I met, and I played it what I thought were the Pac-Man World 1. And he's like, no, dude, these are not the Pac-Man World ones. So I don't think I have them, because I did look. What I have, I think, was like a style guide, but it wasn't the. I know they gave it to me, but I can't for the life of me find it. I searched through the entire archive. It's not there. And you know what? It makes sense, because probably I'm like, I don't need this. You know, I mean, I was archiving all the important data for Pac-Man World 2, right? So why would I keep Pac-Man World 1 soundtrack? I wouldn't. There's no reason. So it makes perfect sense why I can't find it. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Starman. Really sorry that I don't have it. Nothing negative about me. I just, no. Just make it sure that everybody's playing nice FP. Did you hear what I said about you, FP? You're like the sweetest, kindest person that I think I know. Maybe even you're kinder and sweeter than my girlfriend. I hope she's not listening. Sorry, baby. I might have to.
Someone's sleeping in the studio tonight.
Yeah, someone's sleeping in the studio tonight. That's for sure. You weren't doing anything wrong putting the music up for free, but you got to take into consideration that YouTube, Spotify would run. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, you're right. And Namco is right to ask us to take it down. You know, they're in their rights, you know. I'd support the Kickstarter for all of the above, vinyl especially. Well, Dark Yoshi, you know, keep coming back every week. And listen, you know what? I'll say this, guys. If any of you guys want to get involved, right, in helping us build this community, just go to our orbsoundworks.com, and there's a form you can fill, which you know will go into our email inbox. Let us know if you want to help, because the point is, Bobby's busy enough, I'm busy enough, Emanuele is busy enough. The three of us all have like full-time jobs to do at Orb, and so we do this on a Saturday night because it's fun, enjoyable. It's just like a nice way to spend a Saturday night and Saturday morning for Bobby. So, hey, we got another follower. Welcome. Nice one. So anyway, you know, so for us, it's you know, we have full-time jobs. So if any of you want to help us build the Kickstarter or set up a Patreon, or just reach out to us. because, if you're, sort of serious and committed, was the only two real things we would ask, then, join our
Okay.
team. All right.
Have you thought about inviting the Re-Pac sound team for a stream?
Have you thought about inviting the Re-Pac? Well, I don't know about that, because if they saw my previous streams, they might not be too happy with me, because I talked some shit about them. No, listen, I would do it 100%. Yes, I would, because listen, I respect what they did. I do. And especially today when I was listening, I was like, damn, that's cool. I like that a lot. It was very creative, some of the stuff. Here, okay, so listen, I'll put out, yes. So the answer is yes. I would, actually nothing would make me happier, because then we can ask them questions like, was the directive to make it sort of match my original?
Right.
My first question would be, why did you remove the Dal Samba? Do you have something against sambas? But here's the thing, here's my feeling. Here's my feeling about it. Okay. My feeling is that, by the way, thank you guys for saying all this stuff. You guys are all amazing. And that would make a very interesting stream, by the way.
Well, we're planning on reaching out to Yas, right?
We're going to reach out to Yas Naguchi, one of the producers of the game, and was responsible. Yeah, the original game was responsible for, deciding kind of like how the music should fit in the game and how the sound should fit in the game. So he and I worked very close. So yeah, I would like to interview him. But like, as far as having here's what I think about the original team. I just got to say this. So especially if they're watching this, I think that they have their style that they do. And I think it's really good. I think it was cool. I really, really like when they put their voice on top of what I did, their voice. I think it was amazing what happened. I mean, really, there were some amazing moments that I was just like, wow, this is cool. I think when they were just trying to sort of repack Pinky's Revenge, I don't think that that's their sort of natural style, right? And so maybe they were just getting direction from the producer of Re-Pac saying, oh, just, make it as close, but just change this and this. And because remember, I'm an orchestral guy. I have orchestral training. I toured with orchestras. I played in orchestras. I've recorded live orchestras of my compositions. You understand? And I think that these guys do like EDM and rock and like electronic styles. And I think they do them very, 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 very well. And I would give them high, high, high praise. And when they were taking that style and except for Clyde in the Caldera, I just, nah. But other than that one, when they took
that one.
Yeah, I just couldn't get on board for that.
Right.
But other than that one exception, I think when they are putting their sound that they do well and combining it with what I did back then, yeah, absolutely. I think it was great. And what I would love to do is I would even do a collaboration with them. I think that'd be amazing.
That would be a lot of fun.
That'd be a lot of fun. In fact, for this Re-Pac, not the Re-Pac, my music inspired by Pac-Man World 2, composed by the guy who actually wrote the original music for Pac-Man World 2. Timestamp 134. Okay. We can choose which one we like better. Like, that would be super cool. I would love to do that, a collaboration with those guys, because they're clearly talented. They have real skill, real talent. Just, again, like, I don't think they really understand properly how to compose for orchestra, and because I don't think that's their strong suit, any more than I can do EDM as well. They do it better than I can do. EDM is not my best style, So there you go. All right, guys, I think that's good. I just want to quickly, look, there's a whole bunch of stuff here I missed. I'm so sorry, guys.
So there's just one more quick question.
Yeah.
Do you remember making the main melody for Pac-Man World 2? The leitmotif present in pretty much all the tracks.
Yeah. I mean, Do I
I
remember?
don't know if it's a quick question, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not a quick question, but I'll say this. I remember struggling with it. I remember
That's a big one.
I remember rewriting it like a million times. I wish I still had all that because I tended to just like I will never need this because some of the better ones I did keep. Some of the better themes I did keep, and I have one or two of them in my outtakes. But yeah, I remember struggling very much so. But then I do remember the moment I kind of got it. I remember that moment very well. Ba-ba-ba-ba-dum. It was originally one of the alt versions, which was ba-ba-ba-ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-ba-ba-ba-dum, ba-dum. Because the idea for the theme was I wanted ba-ba-ba-ba-dum, ba-dum, be-dee-dee, ba-ba-ba-ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-da. I wanted there to be fills, so you had one. But then the more I thought about it, I thought, no, it has to be a continuous melody. And I remember that moment is when I went from, ba-ba-ba-ba-dum, ba-dum to ba-ba-ba-ba-dum, ba-ba-ba-ba-dum, ba-ba-ba-ba-bum, ba-dum. And you can hear how poor control I have over pitch in my voice anyway. So I do remember, I remember sort of like the moment that it all like came together. Yeah, that I remember. But I remember struggling quite a bit because it was Pac-Man World 2, man. It's a AAA video game. Namco, it's Pac-Man. And I'm just like, the pressure is on. And also because they rejected quite a few of my first attempts were completely rejected, So, yeah, I was starting to sweat, All right, well, I hope we answered everybody's question. Guys, we're going to be here every week until one of these Pac-Man ghosts like just takes me away to heaven, That sounds really morbid, didn't it? Anyway, it's a pleasure. Bobby, thank you so much for everything that you do. Shout out to Emanuele. Shout out to Jared. Shout out to FP Trumpet. And an extra special shout out to all of you guys who come here on Saturdays to spend some time with us. We really do appreciate you. We got a lot of love. And wait, because for whatever reason, the big love doesn't work on that screen. So there it is. The big, 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 big love. We got a lot of love for all of you guys. Thank you all for coming. It really does. It means a lot to me that this music still means something to you guys, So thank you all for coming. And what was I going to say? I'm trying to queue up our final moment. So I again say thank you. And as I like to say every week, I think the purpose of life is to find some purpose in life. And I think that the meaning of life is to find some meaning in life. So thank you guys again. Take care. And we will see you guys